gas distribution companies, which will help penetration of gas in cities and reduce use of liquid hydrocarbons. It is our vision to move towards PNG CNG system for all the large cities and newly coming smart cities in India. This should help reduce local air pollution as well as overall emissions level. We are taking initiatives for converting national highways to green highways where CNG vehicles can have intercity movements. We are also studying a feasibility of using LNG as a transportation fuel for intercity movement in heavy vehicles. Our direct benefit transfer schemes of domestic LPG cooking gas subsidy have been recognized as the largest such scheme in the world of Guinness Book of Records. Another 3.8 million domestic consumers have responded to reduce appeal for giving up their LPG subsidy voluntarily. We are using this money to connect poor households with LPG connections and relieve them from cooking with firewoods or biomass, which leads to not only increased carbon emissions but adversely impact on their health. We plan to progressively increase the reach of LPG to 75% of households over the next 4 years. India has introduced energy efficiency standards for not only consumers' products but also industries. More industries are being added to the list in a phased manner and will also include oil refineries. The scheme which has been introduced rewards those who meet the stringent standards and punishes those who do not. Realizing that the cities accommodate nearly 31% of Indian populations and contribute 63% of GDP, our government has launched a smart city mission. The mission will cover 100 cities over 5-year duration. The objective is to promote cities that provide core infrastructure and give a decent quality of life to its citizens. A clean and sustainable environment and application of smart solutions. The smart cities in India would include better public transport, access to PNG and CNG, energy efficient buildings, and would reduce carbon dioxide emissions substantially. The attention of the world is focused on the 2015 UN Climate Change Conference to be held in Paris from November 30th, 2015. About 85% of the countries have submitted their intended national determined contribution. India has pledged to improve the carbon emission intensity of its GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030 from 2005 level, and to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through additional forest and tree cover by 2030. The INDC centers around the country's policies and programs on promotion of clean energy, especially renewable energy, enhancement of energy efficiency, development of less carbon intensive and resilient urban centers, promotion of waste to wealth, safe, smart and sustainable green transportation network, abatement of pollution, and India's effort to enhance carbon sink through creation of forest and tree covers. It takes forward Prime Minister's vision of a sustainable lifestyle and climate justice to protect the poor and vulnerable from adverse impact of climate change. India's share of non-fossil fuel in the total installed power generation capacity is projected to change from 30% in 2015 to about 40% by 2030. India is running one of the largest renewable capacity expansion program in the world. Between 2002 and 2015, the share of renewable grid capacity has increased over 6 times from 2% to around 13% from a mix of sources including wind power, small hydropower, biomass power, and cogeneration waste of power and solar power. We have scaled up our targets for renewable energy capacity addition from 30 gigawatts by 16-17 to 175 gigawatts by 2021-22 2022, which will result in abatement of over 326 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. In Ministry of Petroleum, we are making efforts to industry scale waste to fuel projects. In addition, we have launched ethanol blending up to 10% in petrol and biodiesel blending of 5% in diesel. All these efforts will reduce dependency on crude oil. I can assure the audience that the Indian oil companies would play a pioneering role in reducing the carbon emission in the entire value chain and contribute towards making the world cleaner and greener. With these words, I inaugurate this export workshop and wish the deliberations and resounding success. Thank you, friends. Jai Hind.